Welcome back to another episode of the Real Life Caddie podcast, number 143. Michael,
yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good to be here.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I've made sure that you're sitting over there well away from the electrics here so you don't
Oh, get out of here. We all know it was your mistake.
kick the extension cord.
No. Let's set the record straight. That was all you.
Regular listeners will know that Zabbo kind of screwed things up last time. We lost half an hour of great material.
Some of the best material we've ever had on this podcast, and it was gone forever.
We're joined. We have another interview. Imagine that. Two
guests in a row. We have Troy McKinley. Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Of course.
Troy, nobody knows Troy. Well, I guess some locals will know you, Troy.
Oh, a lot of locals know Troy.
It's not really fair, is it? Nobody knows Troy.
Yeah.
I've born and raised here in the Bay Area.
Yeah,
originally from Danville, California, and now Pleasant Hill, California.
Well, people in Glasgow ain't going to know who you are. New Zealand, Australia,
Very
Canada.
true. Our listeners in Vietnam.
There you go. And Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
We're big in Saudi Arabia.
Number 2 in Saudi Arabia, I think.
But no, we invited Troy on, very good golfer. And he wanted to talk about his career. The struggle is real.
Very, very good golfer. I've only had the pleasure of caddying for Troy once, and it was by far the easiest loop I've ever had in my life. I've never seen somebody who literally requires zero help. It's very impressive. I think that all kind of happened from Gordon caddying for you.
Well, that's funny. With you caddying for me, that was the best caddy experience I've ever had.
That sounds about right.
That's it. Not going to argue there. Would you? So yeah, we're going to talk about your career as a golfer, and then also in the second half a little bit about your son, and then some advice for parents out there and junior golfers potentially of how it should and shouldn't be done. I hope. So yes, welcome to the Real Life Caddie podcast, Troy. You are a listener.
I am.
Long-term listener.
Long time.
What's your listening habits? Do you listen like every episode or catch up after 4 or 5 weeks? Or
It's often whenever I come down to Pebble Beach to do work down here, is to turn that on.
Yeah.
Like I did this morning.
Cool.
I listened to the Tim O'Neill one from last week.
Oh, yeah.
The last episode.
What'd you think of that?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was very insightful. I can't hit the ball as far as he can.
No.
But I do think there's probably a lot of parallels to your guys' background as far as growing up. Did you have aspirations when because you were kind of legendary in the Bay Area? Did you have aspirations when you were younger to play professional golf?
Yeah, a little bit. I was a pretty small kid growing up.
Still a small guy now.
Nothing's
changed. You and Zabbo?
Well,
It always comes back to the small jokes with Gordon.
Yeah,
That's all he's got.
I know, but it wasn't really a phenomenal junior golfer at all. After my junior year in high school, I think Santa Clara University gave me a book scholarship and said, I think I'll hold off. And after my senior year in high school, after I graduated high school, I had a really good summer, became an AJGA Junior All-American that summer, and then decided University of Pacific in Stockton offered me a scholarship.
Nice.
Stockton's like the wild, wild west of the middle of California, isn't
It's an interesting part of California.
Stockton's a great town.
I think it's a great town.
Yeah, especially where the university has, and our home course was the reserve at Spanos Park, and we played Brookside, Stockton Country Club, so great little golfing town.
Kind of a farming background, would you say? Is it a lot of farming going on?
I would say so, yeah.
Yes. So you that's where you went to college?
I went to college there and got my BS in Business Administration there and stayed for my MBA.
Nice.
Played pretty well the first couple of years. Became a college All-American after my sophomore year in college.
What does that mean? Because I don't really know what that means. All-American.
Just like top 40, top 50 in college during that time.
Where like the whole country?
Yeah.
Wow.
In colleges, yeah.
What division is University of Pacific?
Division I.
It's a Division I school?
Wow. That hurts.
Sorry.
Really
Hey,
does.
you played D1 golf. Well, you were just saying how you didn't really bloom until your summer of senior year.
Yeah. And I was also the mascot. I was the Power Cat.
You were the the football,
honest
basketball?
promise, I was the 2-time Big West mascot of the year.
Mascot of the year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Power Cat,
Small cat. Plastic cat, not a big cat.
Power Cat.
Power cat. Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy. A lot better than my accolades in college.
That's phenomenal. Okay.
That's awesome.
That's it. I'd never heard of this college.
What?
I still haven't.
University of Pacific. Yeah. I've heard of it.
We just won a men's college Division I men's college tournament 2 weeks ago. Wow. We just finished second at the Meadow Club, University of Pacific men's golf did, and beat Cal, to finish fourth. So
wow.
A really good school.
Do you still
there.
keep up with their golf team and follow them pretty closely?
Yeah, we do. So one of the my golf psychiatrists at the time was Dr. Glenn Alba, and it's funny, he went to San Jose State, and his roommates at San Jose State was Ken Venturi and Bill Walsh.
Dang.
And
back
and
in the 40s.
Yeah. And so Dr. Glenn Alba really helped us out on the golf team. And
What was he helping you out with?
How to hit the ball, free the mind, and how to have confidence on the golf course.
Yeah.
We got a lot. Listen, this is a good opportunity to potentially pass on some of that information to amateur golfers. How do you free the mind? What are the...
Yeah. There's many different ways. A lot of I was really into routine. If you watch a basketball player, I remember Karl Malone. He would always shoot his free throws right at the 10-second mark. If you watch a lot of good golfers, they have a very precise routine, a pre-shot routine, number of waggles, the time they take once they get over the golf ball. And once you do that routine every single time, then you're kind of let it happen automatically.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes people do too much routine. I was a pretty quick player, so it was fine for me. I'd hit the ball within 25 seconds.
But you had the same routine every time you stepped to the ball, and did you still carry that same principle to the way you approach a game today? You still have the same sort of routine or a routine?
I definitely have a routine.
Yeah.
One of the things that they always taught us was something good, because you can't think about golf the whole time you're out there on the golf field, right? And so it's always good, and Dr. Glenn taught me this, is have a trigger. And people have a different trigger, and some people's trigger. My trigger was whenever I put on my golf glove, and once I did that golf glove, I'm into my golf shot now.
I like that.
And as some people is whenever they take a club out of the bag, and they don't want the caddy to take out the club because they got to take the club out. So that's their process. And then as soon as that club goes back in, they're looking at the trees, they're thinking, they're chit-chatting and so forth. But as soon as the trigger happens, you go after it.
So there you go. Golf psychology is not as in-depth as maybe you would think. It could be something very simple as a trigger.
For sure. And
Padraig Harrington always talks about when he won the Open, and they asked him what was the first thing he thought about in the 18th tee, and he talked about the late 80s when he played the Walker Cup and he hooked it out of bounds. Right?
That's what he was thinking of.
And he said, what a waste of €1.5 million.
Yeah.
Because he'd had a lot of golf psychologists. So okay, that's interesting. So it wasn't sit down in a room and pour your heart out.
Oh, no, not at all. It's just something to get into routine and how to get your best mind in the routine, because I think Bobby Jones said golf is played within 5 inches between your ears. It's so true.
Was he a team doctor, or is this somebody you saw personally yourself?
It was a team doctor.
Team doctor, Gotcha. That's interesting. And probably most of the colleges at this point have, especially on the golf team, have psychologists and probably not psychiatrists, probably psychologists.
Psychologist.
You said psychiatrist.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. Psychologist.
There was no medication prescribed.
Any sharp objects around? Yeah. And how old were you when you started playing golf then?
Oh, I was about 5 years old when I first started.
Your dad get you into it?
Yeah, Dad got me into it, and then grew up at Castlewood Country Club in Pleasanton, and we couldn't tee off. Before you were 15 years old, you had to wait till 2:00 in the afternoon.
Dang.
And so I would have my mom drop me off at 8:00 in the morning. I would hit balls, chip, putt, hit balls, chip, putt, and then whoever was on the tee at 2:00, it could be three 80-year-old women. I would ask if I could play golf with them.
I'd have played at 210.
What do you got in the 220, 230 range? You got a couple of young studs to play with.
So how old were you when you broke par?
Oh, it'd be around 14, 15.
Yeah.
It was a little late bloomer compared to the junior golfers. There's a lot of, my dad had me teeing off from the men's tees. He would never let me play from the forward tees or anything like that. So
very contrary to what Bryson DeChambeau thinks.
Yeah, it is. Now that kind of helped me, because what I did when I was a kid, and you've seen this, I like to hit my driver off the deck. Even on the first hole at Pebble Beach, I like just taking driver off the deck and hitting a little fade. And when I was a kid, 10 years old, I would have to hit a club, 3-wood or driver about 5-6 times. And so I learned, my driver can go about 10 extra yards than my 3-wood. So I learned how to hit the driver off the deck.
You do hit driver off the deck frequently, like off tee boxes. I did find that kind of interesting when I caddied for you. I loved it, though. I mean,
it's like you juggling balls. That's his party piece.
It is kind of a good party piece, yeah.
It's just one club in the bag, right? Okay, it's impressive if you pull it off. Troy's a good player. But it's amazing the drama it creates in a room where people go, DOD.
But he pulls
the
it
Donnellys
off
this
consistently, yeah.
They were so impressed. Oh, amazing. Oh, he's going to drive off the deck. It creates so much of a... Okay, yeah, he's hitting a driver off the deck. Good for him.
Yeah.
The greenskeepers...
Gordon's not impressed, Troy.
That's fine. He's not impressed at all. But the greenskeepers don't like it because I usually did the Lord baby, and I create a divot, and I do it as it's my 2-wood, right? Instead of hitting a 3-wood or a 2-wood, it's my anti-left shot.
Yeah, because you're almost guaranteed to hit it straight or cut it a little bit, right?
Exactly.
I would say that. I'll have to point this out. We digress. I'm not a fan of that. You have a tee box, then you create that wedge to tee it up. Like
it's like old school. In Scotland, they did that all the time. Come on.
Lazy. It's destructive.
Well, you're taking divots in the fairway all day. I mean, what?
You replace them.
I replaced my divot. I did a little sand.
Unless you're ready and you say, you'll get that tonight.
Don't worry about it. The greenskeepers will get that later, yeah.
And then how do you get recruited? Do you have a bunch of offers, I'm guessing?
Yeah, at the time, this was 25 years ago. I mean, it was really the AJGA, Junior Golf League, and the college coaches, watch that. They come out to see you, and, anytime after, I think, your junior year in high school, they can start talking to you directly.
And how many offers would you have had?
Oh, I didn't have that many before my senior in high school, but that summer I had about 5 or 6 different schools start calling me and say, "What are you doing in August?"
Really?
And in which the University of Pacific guy saw me, the coach saw me about 4 weeks before I actually showed up to school. So I was holding out for a long time.
Wow.
And
did you get a full ride to University Pacific?
Not the first year,
Gotcha.
but the second year, yes.
But you offered to play on the team right away.
Oh, yeah.
And you played your freshman year right away.
Yes,
Nice.
I played in every tournament my freshman year.
Dang.
Freshman's first year, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
And when you were growing up, you said your dad got you into it. Did you have a swing coach, or did he kind of teach you the game from an early age? Or
no, I mean my dad got to the game pretty much late, like mid-20s. Always had over the top kind of little fade slice, but he was a pretty good athlete. So what he did, he taught me how to swing really inside out, like almost like a tennis forehand. Really just learn. And in high school, actually, in my freshman sophomore year, I would hit a 30-yard hook with a 5-iron, and that would be my normal practice. So it was really handsy, and so it's kind of complicated matters a lot because it's probably not a swing that you would really teach somebody, because over 4 rounds, if you don't have that timing, one of the days over a 4-round tournament, you're going to have to rely on your short game. So I would advise not to learn how to hit both ways, hit fades and draws.
Well, the fade's the one thing that all the pros have now.
And the fades are great. You take the left side out of the one side of the golf course out of play, and you can control it.
When I went to Alaska 10 years ago, we played a place called Palmer, little course surrounded by glaciers, and we were borrowing golf clubs. And I was given a set, and the lad said, "There is no chance you can hook the ball. It's weighted in a certain way." I don't know what they do. You'd probably know, but it was weighted in a certain way that this thing would not go left. First hole, what did I try and do?
Hook it.
It was the most liberating golf experience I've ever had. Because I just aimed 40 yards left, and every single time it came into play.
Well,
yeah.
Nice.
So, and so that's how, when some people just say, "Hey, I want to start hitting a draw." Why, right? And if you're able to continue hitting a fade or slice, if you're able to control it, and now you can't control an 80-yard slice, but if you're able to just hit one way, it's a great way to play golf because you know what your ball's going to do.
I think that people are obsessed with just improving. Now, Nick Faldo, Harrington, Woods, McIlroy, they're all changing. It's like you've conquered the world of golf. Why would you want to just keep it
Pretty
going?
crazy.
Golfers and amateurs do the same thing. Oh, I want to do it, but it works for you.
Yeah.
Just stick with it. You're not good enough.
It's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I know why people want to hit a draw.
Why is that?
Because it goes about 50 yards further.
It looks cooler. So did your dad, like he said, he taught you the foundation, not a very good one according to you, but did he push you in the game? Was he hard on you as far as your golf? Did he expect a lot out of you as far as results and tournaments and that?
No, the one thing he really taught me is competition. You know, really be competitive and wanted to do well, to work hard. You know, as a father, that's the one thing you want for your kids is to make sure that they work hard. Because if you work hard, you're going to be successful.
So your dad was a positive influence on you. He didn't come down hard on you if you didn't play well, or
very much. Because
Gordon and I have both seen the flip side of that, where the parents are just so hard on the kids, and it's everything they do is wrong, and if they play bad, it's just it's kind of cringe just to see that happen, and we've seen it time and time again. Yeah. So I'm glad that wasn't your experience with your own dad. Obviously, it's translated well.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. And we always used to have competitions, and it translates over to kind of my son right now. I have a lovely wife, Ashley, and then my daughter, Grace, is a softball player. She's 16 years old, and my son's Tavin is a golfer. And it's hard because how do you teach your kid to want to win, right? To excel, and that they have to work hard. But at the same time is knowing that whatever they do right now at 10, 12, 14 doesn't mean nothing. You know, it really just matters if you're gaining exposure. And, you know, it doesn't matter if they're 17 years old, 18, or they go to college and they're like, freedom. I don't have to practice, right? My parents aren't watching me right now. I get to go and party or what have you. And so it's really trying best to, you know, set that foundation that do they love the game? Right.
For sure.
And you got to love the game in order to do something in the game.
Were you a practicer at college then?
I was.
So
very much so. I would, in college, love to practice, love to hit balls. You know, it struggled at sometimes. Toward my junior year and senior year, probably started to grind a little bit too much, try to be perfect a little bit too much. Was going out there and wasn't satisfied with a couple under, wanted to try to shoot. Okay, if I shot 70, why wasn't it a 66? Right. And so it started to be, you know, we talked about Dr. Glenn Allbaugh before, and really tried to be all of a sudden wasn't very forgiving to myself. Right. And that was a little bit hard to get through. You know, is that you got to appreciate kind of what you're doing, that it's a game. It's supposed to be fun. And golf is not a game of perfect, is some book out there, I think, some title, right? So, which is so true, and it's hard to understand that.
Do you think, though, that at that level anyone thinks it's fun? College, it doesn't seem to me like professional, top end golf. Anyone's enjoying it.
There's a lot of people, I would say, that's fun. You know,
okay.
Do you see people when you caddy for them? Are they having fun out there at Pebble Beach?
Nobody's having fun.
No, no one's having fun.
But that's the game of golf, right? And you know, and it's whether you're practicing, whether you're seeing the beauty of down here at Pebble Beach, you know, playing the golf, and the competition. You know, I wish more people would visibly show that it's fun.
Well,
it happens from time to time, but not too frequently.
My favorite is when somebody has run up a cricket score on, say, a par 5, and everyone's ready to leave, and they go, I'll just do this one for fun. Yeah. And I've said to people, I'll just be like, no, you're done. No one's having fun here. Yeah. We're not having fun. Yeah. We just watched the last 15 minutes. You're not having fun. You're pretending. Yeah.
Move on.
No one's having fun.
Yeah,
no one's having fun watching you hack.
Would you rather caddy for a person who's trying to break par and wants every single perfect read, you know, or would you rather caddy for a couple that's just out there having fun and enjoying the beauty, you know, but you may have to go look for their golf balls.
Who's paying more money?
It's the only thing I was thinking. I was like, Troy, that's all irrelevant. Who has the money? All irrelevant.
I beat Zabbo too.
God, we're such caddies. We were both, in our brains, we're both thinking the same thing. We're like, where's he going with this? Ching, 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 ching. Oh, yeah. I'll take the husband and wife that's giving me, $500. Yeah.
Before we move on to the second half, because time flies, I want to ask you a few quick questions. What was the lowest handicap you ever got?
I think +5.
+5.
Best score ever?
61 at an Olympic Club at Oceanside, Ocean Course.
That's a tough course as well, isn't it? It's all on a hill.
Yeah, it is.
Tough one. How many hole-in-ones?
4.
4 in competition?
Not in competition.
Gotcha.
Do you have parameters of what you count as a hole-in-one?
We knew this was coming.
Yeah, I mean, my son played in the 100-hole hike over at the Hayes place, you know, and he got a hole-in-one on the 90th, on the last hole, ninth hole. Now it was
on the last hole, on its 100th hole,
on his 99th hole.
Gotcha.
You know, but the
How far
9th
is it?
hole, and so it was over 100 yards.
It is. Yeah.
So
Zabbo lays up there; he can't get there.
I know.
I usually don't bring that club with me.
So I would count that as a hole-in-one.
I
Any hole
There
that
you
is
go.
over 100 yards, I would count as a hole-in-one.
So another hole on the same course you wouldn't count because it's 48
Or
yards.
48. No. But if it's over 100 yards, you can count
Moving
it.
along. Have you
You
ever
know,
worn white pants?
Would you count a hole-in-one on a 7 at Pebble?
No. I'll tell you, I had a conversation
You
with the
wouldn't
lads.
count it on
No,
at 7?
it depends. If I had a scorecard in my hand, if it was a full round of golf, I said to the boys, the Donnelly lads that were just in town, I just said, hey lads, because I had the conversation with one of them about, you know, everyone gets a prize, Zabbo. And I said, I hit a couple of shots with them on the first day on the par threes. I said, if I hold it, I would not count that.
Of
It wouldn't
not.
count because of course not. So
Of course not.
Why would you ever count it on a little par 3 course? You maybe only play for. See, if you're playing there, Zabbo, you're playing your wee 9-hole course, you're pitch and putt, and you get a hole-in-one on the 4th, and then your phone goes, and they go, "Oh, can you come to the tee?" You only play 4 holes.
Nah, I got to finish the round so I can count
Got to
it.
finish it. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. I'm glad that you're on my side there. And caddying, Zabbo touched on it earlier. You probably are the easiest person we've ever carried.
It's
for.
crazy.
What makes me easy?
Okay, well, you do your own numbers, you carry your own bag, you read your own putts, you clean your own clubs. And
Yeah,
you
all the
tip well at
above.
the end.
All the above, yeah. You check all the boxes, Troy. You check every single box.
You don't really need a caddy, do you?
I've never seen somebody like we have a lot of people who don't want reads, and that's fine by me. And it's usually they're dead wrong, like they have no clue. But Troy is, and this is a compliment, obviously. He's one of the best green readers I've ever seen.
Well, you can thank Gordon because Gordon told me I had Gordon read my putts. The first 5 or so times that he caddied for me, and then afterwards, after a while, he's like, Troy, I'm going to stop reading greens for you. What?
Yeah.
You're going to do less work now on the golf course?
Best than you already do.
Yeah, exactly. But
No,
but
I was going to concentrate on another player.
Yeah.
More.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But what that really helped me, and I advise a lot of people to this, even when you take a caddy out, to read the greens yourself.
For sure.
Is, look at the downslope and the upslope, and start to feel the break, right? So many times that you can't people just get out here and they get lazy, as what Gordon told me. Troy, you're a lazy golfer now with me, and Gordon says, putt it to here. Putt 75% of the way here to the hole. I'm like, okay, what does 75% mean, But the more that you can actually look at the greens like you normally
And
do,
feel it, yeah.
and feel it,
Yeah. I'm with you as far as that. Like if I'm taking a caddy, I really don't want the reads personally because I don't even think when I'm putting, I really don't even think uphill or downhill. My brain just I feel it in my hands and I hit it as hard as I need to hit it. I don't think uphill or downhill. I really don't.
What's funny? This is a good. I used to do this tip and still do is if I'm reading the green all the way around, I start moving my hands around. And I move my hands around with the break. And if it's up the hill, I'll move my left hand up the hill. And if it's right to the left, I kind of move and wave. And all that little type of stuff is to be able just to kind of start
Feel it.
I would say slightly weird. And then to use Zabbo, I have worked enough with Zabbo to know that if he gets a caddy, he should definitely have the caddy read the putts because he's coaching. And 2 questions I would ask going down 2 or 3. How far do you hit? What's your 150 club? What do you use around the greens? Because we're, that. And
Basics.
then see if the player's good.
Yeah.
Say, listen, do your own thing, and then just ask.
Call me in for help. Yeah.
But most people, they want to know.
Yeah.
You do have a crazy putter. We will move on to that because there's a story behind that. There's a story behind everyone with a very unorthodox putter, usually trauma. So we'll play a quick ad, and then we'll be back for part 2. As many of you know, our podcast is sponsored by the Big Game Golf app. However, what many of you won't know is there's also a Big Game Golf Founders Club. Anyone can become a member of the Founders Club, and the benefits are numerous. You'll get early access to new game releases, receive special promotions from Big Game Golf partners, and you'll receive a lifetime Big Game Golf membership which also includes 3 one-year premium memberships for 3 of your golfing buddies. As a Founders Club member, you'll also have access to the Big Game Golf team to share comments, feedback and suggestions. To find out more, visit biggamegolf.com and click on the Founders Club tab. And if you do join the club, don't forget to enter the promo code GD1 to receive some Big Game Golf swag. I just mentioned that you've got a really dodgy putter. Can you
What do you mean by dodgy?
Okay, so it's a broom handle.
It is.
He stands side on.
Side saddle.
So
yeah.
he's side saddle. Come on now.
Face
That's
on.
what it is.
Face on.
He's facing the target.
Yeah,
And
yes.
he's putting at the side. It's very bizarre. And as soon
But
as I
he's
saw
good
it,
at it.
but as soon as you see it,
Yeah,
you know
it's
that
weird.
there's a story.
Oh,
there.
there's trauma.
There's PTSD.
There's trauma.
Yeah, there's
So-
always is the case.
Why do you putt the way you do?
Well, this was after my sophomore year in college, and started had I call them the yibby jibbies,
Okay.
the yips.
Yips, yeah.
Even double hit a putt during competition.
Wow.
You can't try to hit a double putt, but when you have that much of a wrist reaction,
Gotcha.
that's what happens.
Yeah.
And so my junior year switched to a long putter, like Adam Scott Burhan longer, where
We call it a broom handle.
a broom handle.
What years were you in college? When was this?
I was 99 to 03.
Gotcha.
This was in 01. Went to attached long putter and won a college golf tournament. Was playing pretty well with it. And kind of finished out my career. And then when the USGA rule came out about 8 years ago or something like that, where the USGA says you can't attach the putter, anchor it, I tried doing the burn on longer and tried to keep it off my chest. And,
Well, that's suspect to begin with. There's a whole Twitter account dedicated to exposing Bernhard Longer's cheating as far as he's still anchoring it. Yeah, but
I tried that within the rules.
Yeah.
And
wasn't working.
Well, it wasn't working. Wasn't having much fun at all. And
Nobody does.
And then I think Randy Haig has putts side saddle too.
Oh,
A very prominent
jeez.
amateur player, and
he's something.
and was able to. I tried it out and couldn't wait to go practice putting, and still do it today.
With success. I mean, he putts lights out with that thing.
Well, name one other thing you do in life where you don't need power. Okay, take the power equation out. And you do it from
Quite a few things.
We're getting kind of dirty here.
Easy now.
darts. Imagine
Yeah.
playing pool billiards.
Yeah.
From the side, you wouldn't even think about doing it.
True.
Horseshoes. Would you ever do horseshoes from the side?
Yeah.
Would you shoot a basketball from the side?
No.
So there's not one thing that you do. And so I started it and had a lot of fun, have some success. It takes about a year to get used to it, a lot of effort, but was able to roll it out to competition. And my son, Tavin, actually puts side saddle too.
He does.
When he was 9 years old, this was 5 years ago, he said, "Dad, can I putt like you?" I said, "As long as you never go back."
Wow.
And he absolutely
Ultimatum.
Yeah.
He absolutely loves putting because I don't want indecision, right? If you're going to switch to something, you got to stick with it, right? Just because you have a bad putting day doesn't mean you should give that up. You see how many different strokes people have, college, a professional game, college, cross-handed, left-hand low. They try to get some sort of feeling to work, but this is the same motion that we both have.
Was the putting trauma what basically meant you wouldn't become a pro?
Wouldn't say that. I think toward my end of my college career is just I started grinding too much, right?
Yeah.
And you're not going to be successful. You're not going to make money when you're thinking about your score the next, the night before. And kind of for me, it started to be, hey, the score defines me. If I shot well, I'd be happy, right? If I shot bad and I had a bad tournament, I would think about it for the next week, right? And it's, and unfortunately I didn't learn ahead of time how best to put golf to the side, and have an outlet. And to me, the golf was the outlet, and golf was, for a period of time, was everything for me.
I find that everyone we caddy for, they're just so obsessed by score. And it just grinds. I told you I played in that caddy event. I shot 83. First time in 5 months I touched the clubs. I was really happy with the round. I 5-putted. Okay, really very easily done in this green.
I can teach you side saddle.
Which green was it?
I'll still not go there, but I think it was the 6th, and I left myself in the wrong place. but I 5-putted and I had another quadruple in the course.
How do you leave yourself in the wrong place in 5-putt? You know, left it after the 3rd putt or the 4th putt?
I would say impatience, anger.
Yeah, where does that 3rd putt end up?
I wasn't having fun. So
Not having fun.
those 2 holes cost me 9 strokes. So I can walk away and say I played really well for 16. I hit the ball quite well. I hit some good shots. I deserve nothing because I hardly play. But the guys we caddy for are so obsessed with score.
So obsessed. And they write down the wrong scores, let's be honest.
Well, some of them do. Some of them do. You mentioned about plotting around the course, something that Tim and Neil had said in the previous episode.
Yeah.
What did you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I took it from this, and Tim from the last episode talked about, hey, he learned it was better for him to plot away around the golf course, you know, and I agree with that because that's one of the things that, in better your scores, you need to limit your bogeys. But with that, we have a thing that I try to teach Tavin too, it's called green light, yellow light, red light, right? And when
we used to go to those university nightclubs. Different thing, I'm guessing.
Yes,
different red light.
But it's standing in before when you're hitting into a shot into the green and you see that flag. You know, is this a go pin? Is this a green pin where you just go green light right at it?
I like it.
Is this a yellow pin where, I should shade my ball over this side? Or if it's a pins in the back right corner and there's hazard water on the right,
red light
that's a red light. Yeah. You know, you're not going after that pin. And so I would just say, you know, with the listeners, you know, same type of thing. Limit your bogeys. And where do you want to have a shot? So once you decide that that's a red pin, where do you want to target now? And if the pin's in the back right, you want to target, you know, the front middle, great. And then it be a green light to that new target, right?
Commit to it, yeah.
Be aggressive. So I when I heard the last episode, it was like, well, I don't want my son to be scared, you know, going after pins, right? Or going after a target. Hey, I want to shy away because I don't want to make a bogey. Well, just pick out your new target and be aggressive and green light to that new target. So that's the one
That's
thing.
genius. I love it. I love it, yeah. What kind of index does your son carry now? How old is he?
He's 14. He's plus 1.5.
Stellar.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
It's fun because now we're at the same. Pretty much, we can go head to head with no strokes.
So he beat you as much as you beat him.
I don't know about that. he beat me the first time in January at Spyglass Hill.
That's
you
awesome.
Know, he shot. We played from the Golds, which is 65 yards, 60 something like that, and he shot 42-34. So he pulled off a 34 in the back and beat me by 2.
That's amazing.
I was
Troy was raging.
Yeah, I was.
You weren't happy about it?
No.
I was dropping the flag stick in his putting stroke and trying to get him to miss it. You know. So.
Well, it's interesting. You said earlier on that you're not happy. I don't think that you can train someone to be a winner. I think you can train a horse to be a winner, but I don't think you can train people. It's something you're born with. Because I think back to when I played sports at school and the competitive kids.
Yeah.
And then
it's somewhat ingrained in you.
Those guys, they wanted to win everything. Yeah. So
yeah, and you want that you know, that kid to be competitive. You want to be successful, even if it's not in golf. You know, are they going to be successful in life? Are they going to want to win you know, if they're going after a job, do they want to win that job, right? And so that's the mentality.
And what are Tavin's dreams and aspirations now? Does he want to make golf his future? Does he have dreams of playing at the next level as far as professional golf?
I think he dreams that, you know, but there's a lot of time that he's only 14, right?
Yeah.
And where do you want to peak in your golf, right? Do you want to peak at 17? Not necessarily, right? Do you want to peak somewhere around, you know, 22, 24, you know, in that time frame? So it's how to set up a kind of a long vision for that.
Do you push him, or does he call the shots of when he wants to play? And
it's starting to be. A few years ago, I was probably pushing him a little bit more than I should have.
Yeah,
I acknowledge that. But it's again is how do you establish or what the work ethic wants to do? Hey, I want to be a professional golfer. Hey, but this is the work ethic you need to have, right? And then it's kind of his choice whether he wants to do something with it or not.
You do quite a lot of traveling with him, don't you?
We do, and it's kind of an outlet for me too. You know, to be able to go to these different and pretty much in junior golf, it's great because all the junior golfers, they know each other. They follow around in the kind of the same circuit, and so the dads know each other. You know, and we catch up.
Yeah, is he playing a lot of AJGA stuff now?
It is.
Yeah,
Nice. And so you know He played in a lot this past summer, probably overdid it. We try to do, in the past, we try to do like one kind of tournament each month. But he did 6 tournaments in 7 weeks across the nation.
Wow,
he
that's
was
a lot.
He was it was a little bit
full season.
He was in Sacramento, Illinois, Texas, North Carolina, Stanford.
Hot places in the summer, all of them, other than maybe Stanford. I mean,
what advice would you have to parents that have kids that will become golfers or are currently?
The junior golfer has to love the game, right? You got to make it fun, and we played little games, it was little team games. So, we had this one game when Tavin was first started at, 8 years old, where he would putt 8 long putts, 8 putts in a row. I would try to knock in the short putt. Then I would putt 8 long putts, and then he would putt in those 8 short putts. And if we got 14 out of 16 2 putts, he
got dinner.
Yeah, we got Slurpees.
Yeah, I do something similar with my daughter. Yeah, we get a Shirley Temple after.
Exactly. So
if you make this putt, you're getting a Shirley Temple.
I get a Slurpee too.
Exactly.
I bet you she makes them if you're not reading the putts, Zabbo.
Ooh, good one.
Do you see any parents that are just out of control?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
And it's one of those where, and I think if you're in the junior golf circuit, you know who those parents are, and it's just like, and you've probably seen some of the junior golfers out here that have come out and forth, and
and the parents,
and that deep down it's like that kid is not having fun. In 3 years, the kid is not going to want to play golf anymore.
Not only is he not having fun, he doesn't love the game, and he's going to hate the game in a couple of years.
So it's a tricky balance. It's a tricky balance how to introduce your kid and says, I want to do competition, I want to do golf, I want to excel. Yeah. But what does it take? Right? It takes hard work, and how do they get there?
It's funny for us to watch from the exterior, but you can tell it's just it's not good for the kid. It's not good for the kid at all. It's terrible. It's bad parenting, really.
Shocking. How's your game these days?
It's I ramp up around the men's club championship time, and usually in September. So I usually ramp up in the summertime and to play in the men's club championship, and then kind of stop playing or just play for fun.
How'd you do this year?
I won.
Nice.
So, I bet they hate you there. How many times you won it?
9 times.
9 times. Dang.
Aye.
How many is your son eligible to compete?
No, luckily not.
You have to be a full paying member.
Full paying member. So it's nice. He's won the junior club championship the last 2 years at the same club. So,
awesome.
So is that score play?
Huh?
Is that score play?
My club championship is match play.
That's the only other place Turnberry had match play, and yours is.
I love match play. The final day, the championship match is 36 holes. Mm-hmm. And so I absolutely love match play because you can see your opponent. Is he in trouble? Short side of himself?
Yeah, it's fun.
Are you good enough to pick out your new green light target? Where you should put the ball and 2-putt for par and win the hole. Yeah. Instead of
love it.
Missing it left and bogeying the hole.
Who's your favorite golfer?
Ooh, don't really have one.
No,
never really followed anyone or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Where do you see the future of golf going?
I was actually having this conversation the other day with the whole thing with the PGA and Live Tour.
Yeah.
And I would love for something, I was seeing the President's Cup, and the Ryder Cup, and how much fun people have, up in Montreal.
There's that word fun again.
Everybody's having fun.
Well, you saw the first tee shot at Montreal, and, the American gets up there and hooks it left, and the Montreal crowd cheers, And how great would it be is if all of a sudden if more or less there's golf teams like baseball, right? Let's just say we have a Monterey, team, and it's 5-7 pros, and they host a series at Pebble Beach or whatever, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they invite another team, another city to play against a match.
Well, and that's basically what Live Golf are doing. They're creating franchises.
Yeah.
So all those guys that jumped ship early are the ones that are going to cash in.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Are you going to get behind it? You just said you can't get behind an individual. How are you going to get behind a team?
Oh, a local team.
Local team, but then that's based upon geography. Where
that Orlando, Florida team's going to be pretty good.
No, I don't know. They'll have drafts and items like that. But imagine, let's just say Scotty Scheffler's on the Pebble team, even though he doesn't leave, he got drafted, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
And I really think technology here in a few years, when you have more drones and cameras and you don't need to set up grandstands and all the video cameras. True. You can really kind of
go anywhere at
anywhere
time,
you want to, and I think that could be really something for the future. Would love to see.
I like the idea of that. That's pretty cool because I could see that. Like you draft a team, like the people who are playing, on the San Francisco Giants aren't from San Francisco. They're from all over. You just draft them to your local team, and then they stay there forever. And I could see that. It is similar to Live, but I could see that catching on. That's a good idea, Troy. I like
That's
it.
an interesting concept.
Yeah. Should we go? Should we partners into it? Should we
I
set
think
this up?
This need to find some pros.
Okay, the draft's going to be in a couple weeks. You call him, and I'll call him.
Gordon, you finance it.
Yeah, there you go. I
know a guy.
What can you get for $44? I'll throw in a hoodie. But it's interesting. I don't know, because when Robert McIntyre won the Canadian, I think early this year, a bunch of people text me and they go, "Oh, your boy." I'm like, "He's not my boy. We're from this. He's not even from my island.
Well,
he's from a wee island off my island." I couldn't care less. The only thing we have in common is he's Scottish.
Yeah.
He's got a British passport. I can't get behind anyone.
Did you hear what he said about the 17th hole, the road hole at St. Andrews?
No.
He was saying that they should blow up that hole.
What?
Yeah, I was like, Scottish. Scottish. I wanted to see your take.
I couldn't care less. He's got his opinion. Well, I think we still have free speech. I would hope so. He's got his opinion. But I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less what Robert McIntyre thinks, does, or says, because I have no vested interest in him. There's like the local football team we have here in Monterey. I have no interest in that. Yeah. And they're in my current hometown. So I think there's a long way to go.
Well, you need the players to make the team. You need the players. So
true. What's your best memory in golf?
It was I think it was back to one of the best days was back in at Spyglass Hill when Tavins beat me. My daughter was out there. It was early January, and she was driving the cart.
Cool.
And so those
family
are the times
there.
of the family and those memorable type of moments. Mm-hmm. The other times it brings back is you talked about my father earlier. Mm-hmm. I've been fortunate enough to play Cyprus 3 times, and so the first time was when I was 16 years old. And I was the hot shot, right? Mm-hmm. Score was everything, right? And there's a picture that's hanging in my office. My dad and I on the 16th tee at Cyprus, and I'm pissed. I have the worst, stern look on my face.
Playing poorly.
I just 3-putted the 15th hole, right? And I shot 77 that day, and I was not happy. But then I had the opportunity with my dad about 10 years after that, and where I was like, you know what? I'm going to research every single hole. I'm going to background. I'm just going to go out there and have fun. And it was one of the best times I've had. Nice. I took photos of him golfing around. It was a great memory. The third time I was like, okay, I'm going to have fun, but I'm also going to shoot well. And was able to find the balance.
Awesome.
And so it's kind of the times when you spend with family.
For sure,
it's a great time.
Zabbo, you got a favorite memory of golf?
Favorite memory? I'd say, I don't know. I was going to say my Scotland trip, but that would just be BS because I didn't like the guy I was with on that trip. But actually, yeah, I'd say probably that round at Kingsbarns by myself with a caddy over in Scotland, just randomly going over there. Not really spur of the moment. It was like a short notice trip. It was like a 4-month notice trip, and I went to Scotland and turned it into a golf trip. I caddied over there, but that was amazing. I mean, Scotland in good weather in October. Doesn't get any better than that.
Unicorn.
Yeah.
Well, that reminds me, one of my favorite rounds was with my father back in, this was the late 90s. We went over to Ireland, Scotland over 2 weeks break. And so we were playing Ballybunion, the old course Ballybunion. Picture perfect day, 70 degrees, short sleeves in August. And caddy wise, we had this one caddy, and it was a great day because of the caddy. Mm-hmm. And I'm just not saying this just because of this podcast, with you two, but
there you go.
The caddy's name is
sure.
The caddy's name is Keith, and Keith lived in the local town, and he had 8 brothers and sisters, and he was the oldest person. So he was out there, caddying, making money for the family.
Wow.
And it was great just because he was interested in our story, right? He was interested in how I became golf. And we were interested in him. Hey, how's the town here? How's the family? What are you doing? How often do you get out? And so those are the great times is when the caddies and you as a golfer, you're able to communicate. You're able to, you have an interest in the other person. And who cares about the golf score that day?
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
And so I'm sure you guys are, I have all kinds of stories
Yeah,
like
we
that.
get that. We pretend to care about people's lives all the time. Yeah.
As long as it's for a bigger tip.
I'll be honest, I'm one of the unicorns out there. I genuinely
He
love
genuinely loves it.
I love it. I couldn't care less about the golf. The golf is. I'd really like to get to know people. When we meet strangers, I'll be just in the Home Depot or something. And I'll start talking to people because that's my natural. I'm like an interviewer because we interview people every single day in the course. Yeah. And I love that. You know what I mean? I come home. Our job is the most unique there is.
You never
want to call it a job.
You never told us your favorite golf moment.
I think it has to be just playing golf with other caddies. My favorite golf in the world is with other caddies. We all get it. Most caddies don't play a huge amount of golf. Music's going, drinks flowing. We play fast.
It's fun.
You don't have to worry about pins and just everyone gets it.
Yeah.
And I would have to say that, go. Yeah. Sorry to the brothers and the old man, but you know what I mean? The caddies get it for me.
We had some good times, but it's all about the caddy bros.
I really enjoy the caddies. So excellent. Well, that's a good time to wrap this up, boys. Any shout outs?
I just wanted to shout out to everybody at Contra Costa Country Club, all our the weekend golfers out there, and thanks for supporting Tavin.
Excellent. Zabbo, anything you want to say?
Thanks for coming on, Troy. Pleasure having you. Looking forward to seeing more of you.
Looking forward to having you down.
Caddy.
Yeah.
I only have one thing to mention. Obviously, this is time sensitive. So, previous guest on the podcast last year was Chris Hislop, known as Hilo. He has his 2024 Hislop Drive for a Cure. So, he's raising money for his beer fund. He's heading to Cancun on holiday with the boys now.
All for charity.
Drive for a Cure. It's for prostate cancer, I believe. November 8th, 2024. It's at the Legacy Golf Resort. So that's in Phoenix. So any listeners in Phoenix, if you're going to be there, I think there's a national holiday that day or the day after or something, whatever. November 8th, 2024. If you're listening to this and it's 2025, you missed it, but you'll be doing it again.
It was a good time. Everybody had fun.
If you want more information, drive for FORE acure.com. So drive4acure.com. Lads, it's time to wrap things up. Zabbo and I have to go and caddy for Tiger Woods now.
We are.
You have
Actually,
fun.
the man himself.
Yeah. The Tiger Woods Foundation is in town.
They're in town.
We're off. I believe we're both caddying for him. You're carrying the clubs and I'm reading the putts.
Yeah, I think it's the reverse, but yeah.
No chance. Tiger's heard about your reputation.
I'm sure he has.
Troy, many thanks.
Well, thank you.
Have a great day to the
Thanks,
listeners. Thanks for listening. Get out there, enjoy your golf, but more importantly,
Keep it humble.